Great. So we're here with Taylor Simpson from the band Wishwell, that has a bit of an intriguing origin story as far as I know is you've got your hearts in the right place. You're pushing an initiative that's extremely important. I'd love for you to sort of dig into that a little bit and talk about how it came to be, like your origin story, how you guys formed, and how this kind of got off the ground.
Yeah, sure. So again, thank you, Kevin and Indie Distributor, for having us. Really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, so Wishwell has been around for almost 5 years now, which is crazy to say out loud.
Yeah.
And it all kind of started like around COVID. It was like we formed in like I think it was the end of 2021, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Somewhere around there. But I had been in a bunch of bands beforehand, and like my most recent band before Wishwell had broken up just before COVID happened. And I wanted to do like my solo stuff again because I was a solo artist, like in between all the bands I was in throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd been in a band for about 3.5 years, and so I hadn't done any solo stuff in a long time. And so I wanted to, get back at it again. And especially when stuff was starting to like open up again during COVID, I was like, oh, like this is my chance to like get back out there and see what happens, right?
Nice.
But I didn't want to do it by myself. I wanted to have like a band back me up because it's so much more fun playing with a band than by yourself, like at least for me anyways.
Yep.
So I put out some feelers for people that were looking to play in a band. And I had some mutual friends get me in contact with our guitar player, Sonny, him and I are the only OG members left of the band from when we started.
Okay.
And so him and I got together and like, I think it was late 2021, and we started writing some songs. And he was mainly just like writing around the stuff that I already had, because like it started as a solo project first. And so we were like, I think we just called it Taylor Simpson at the start because it's just my stuff and he was playing on top of my stuff. And then we added Spencer, our old bass player, and then Kevin, our old drummer, just through mutual friends and just connections and whatever through the industry. And then we all kind of came together and the chemistry was great. And so we had that formation for a few years. Went through a bunch of name changes because it was my solo stuff, and then it like adapted and molded into like it was still under my umbrella, but like we started writing together as a group. And so it was like Taylor Simpson, and then it was like Taylor Simpson and the insert band name here. So we had this like gag that we would do every show where we like change our name every show.
You're like, ask the audience what you should be called.
Or we would like reference whatever venue we were at, or like, yeah, like someone would make a joke in the crowd and be like, oh, that's our name for tonight or whatever. So it's like, it was a fun little thing we did for a while. But the only problem with that was marketing was a nightmare because our name changed every show. So like people at that show thought that was our actual name and started like promoting us as that. And it's like, no, that was just like the one off. And so like we had to come up with something, concrete.
Yeah.
So then we were Taylor Simpson and Wishful Feeling for a while. And then I think it was after our first tour in like 2023 that we were like, this is too long of a name. Like it's Taylor Simpson and the Wishful Feeling. It was like a whole sentence. And like, so like we saw it on like the marquees or like chalkboards or whatever at every venue we played on that tour. And it was like all of their bands had like one or two words, and then ours was like, it was just not marketable. And so it made us laugh, and we're like, yeah, no, this has to change. So then we came up with Wishwell.
So yeah. What is that? So what started the sort of push into mental health awareness?
Yeah. So that's kind of how the band started. But to touch on your question with the whole mental health thing, like not to get like too personal, but like I'm a pretty open book and I wear my heart in my sleeves, as people who know me know. I've struggled a lot with my mental health throughout the years. I lost my parents when I was really young. Thank you. And I've lost people to suicide in my life, and I've had suicidal tendencies throughout my life as well. I've attempted several times. I've been battling depression, anxiety, and OCD my whole life. I've been on and off medication like twice. So it comes from a real, genuine, authentic place, from my experiences. And obviously the rest of the guys in the band too have their own struggles that they bring to the table as well. And we all agree that it's just like, it's something that's like, not that it's overlooked, because it's like getting better these days. Like I feel like we're making strides, but there's still so much work that needs to be done. in our industry of music and just around the world in general, for people like just a general person that need help, that don't have access to help. Um, and just as a society, I don't think we're taking mental health as seriously as we should be. And like, not to throw facts around or anything here, but like, I saw a stat once, and again, this is just what I saw, so I can't really claim if it's real or not. But during COVID, yeah, obviously COVID was horrible. Don't get me wrong, and there was tons of death around the actual illness itself. But the stat that I saw was that suicide rates had skyrocketed during COVID, and I didn't see any mention of that anywhere in like major media. It was just all about COVID, and like no one was talking about the after effects of COVID, or like during the lockdowns and stuff, like how unnatural that was for all of us, and like how people that like went into COVID without a mental health illness came out with one.
Yeah.
And so it was right around that time where we started Wishwell, right? Like we kind of formed the band around that time, and I'd never really like had a band like with a distinct direction like that. But it's what I've always written about. Like I've always wrote about my experiences, and like I've never shied away from talking about the hard stuff like that. And like if you look through our catalog as Wishwell, like it speaks for itself, I think. But everything we write about is all rooted in mental health. Either that may be like depression, anxiety, OCD, loss of a loved one, or a relationship going bad and causing you mental health problems, or all sorts of things that cause that. But our whole mission statement as a band is to like spread more mental health awareness and suicide prevention, and draw more eyes and more ears to the cause.
Yeah. Do you find that venue owners and organizers of to bring bands onto a bill resonate with that as your MO as a band? Is it something that is they're welcoming, or do you find that there's resistance, or what's the
Yeah, that's a great question, Kevin. And so I can only speak from my experience. Obviously, I can't speak for others, but in terms of where we're at and what our MO is, and like the whole mission statement of us wanting to spread mental health, and like that really being the core of our band, right? And it's everything we stand for. It's like what we push. So it is interesting going into it, like not knowing how people respond to that, because there are people out there still, God forbid, that I don't understand why, but are like against it per se, but maybe don't believe in mental health illnesses, or they come from a generation where that wasn't a thing to them, or you know what I mean? So
yeah,
there could be pushback, but luckily in my experience so far, like, we live in Canada, so thank God we live in a great country that is trying our best. Obviously could do way more, but to conquer that. But no, because like obviously we, I could talk about the tour that we're on right now. It's a mental health charity tour in partnership with Heart Support, which is a nonprofit that I also volunteer at as well. And their whole thing is, giving back to the community that needs it most, which is the music fans and fans alike, or whatever, that struggle with mental health and have nowhere to go with it, and like don't know where to turn, or can't afford like a psychiatrist or a counselor or anything like that. So they offer free mental health services to people. So we thought it was super important to, to be frank, we could have just done a tour like any other band. And I'm not shitting other bands, because like, we've all got a tour, but it just didn't sit right with me with just doing another tour, like especially in today's world where we're at. And it ties back to what we do as a band, right? It was just like, I feel like we could be doing more to help the community. So that was kind of how I came up with the idea of doing this mental health charity tour, like not just a one-off, but like a whole tour dedicated to giving back to this and like spreading awareness and stuff. So to go back to your question, like there was minimal pushback, which I'm so grateful for. Actually, the opposite, honestly. Like I've had nothing but great experiences with all the venues I've booked so far, and every different city we played, because we played 8 cities on this tour, or we're about to play 8 cities on this tour, throughout Southern Ontario and Quebec. And not a single venue has ever questioned it. I'm so, again, like I said, I'm so grateful, and like they've welcomed it with open arms, and like we're like generally positive around it. Like, oh wow, this is great. Like we're so stoked that you guys are doing something that's not just a show, but like giving back something that's positive into a community that needs it. So no, we've had great experiences with all the venues we've booked with, and all the venue owners that are like just stoked to have us out and doing something for a great cause.
That's amazing. Do you find that that bands will get in touch with you to see if they can collaborate, given that is kind of one of your core values, or is it like I'm looking for points of resonation for other bands, because everybody deals with this, right? And in one way or another, whether they acknowledge it or not, right? So I just wonder if that's something that has opened doors for people to reach out to you and say, look, I would love to be on a tour with you because this is, that really resonates with us. Has that been happening, or is that opening more doors for you in that regard too?
I think that it will at some point. I think, we're still, for lack of a better term, lesser known in the scene. Like I know we've been around for 5 years, but it's a slow, steady burn in this industry, as I'm sure you're aware.
Oh yeah.
And your listeners are probably aware as well. But nothing like people obviously like recognize what we're doing and respect what we're doing. And there has been some great moments of friends, bands that we've made, or we've made friends with bands that we played in the past that are like, that now understand what we do as our mission, and are more than happy to play with us again because we have that rapport. So in that terms, absolutely. And I think moving forward, especially after we finish this tour, to really drive home what we're about, and like for me, it was like, okay, it's good that we talk the talk. Like, it's good that we like show up on social media and talk about it. It's good that it's in our music, which is like at the core of what we do. We're a band, and we sing about mental health and suicide prevention and all that stuff. So it's great that we have it in our music and we have it in our social presence and all that kind of stuff. But like, I wanted to double down and back up, not just what we're talking about, but actually do the work. And so that was what inspired me to go out and do this tour. And then, not that we have anything to prove to anybody. That's not the point. The point is we're doing this because we love what we do and we care about our message is, right? That's at the forefront always. But it was just so that like I could feel, or we could feel good about what we're doing and put in the work, And so I think after the tour, I think that will showcase us and what we're trying to do, and that we're serious about it. And I think, to answer your question, I think that will open doors for us.
Nice. That's great. So as an artist, do you feel like, since it's become, in a sense, part of your identity, has the writing process for you changed as a result of sort of projecting this is your this is kind of the environment that you've established? Do you find that your writing process and the source of lyrics, has that evolved at all because there's now kind of this more crystallized definition of mental health awareness?
That's a great question. Like I said before, like off the top, like I've always written about this stuff, because for me, it's like you can only write from your experiences. I mean, you can write fictional stuff, don't get me wrong, of course, like there's many different types of writing, but for me, and I'm sure a lot of artists can relate to this when I say this, it's like diary entries. Like for me, I go to write when I have something to get off my chest. Like an experience that hit me hard, or I've been thinking about, or like kind of reliving, or whatever it may be. But that's when I go to write, So in terms of like the evolution of that, and like, I guess being in Wishwell and like having that be at the forefront has kind of made me like more determined, I guess is the word, or like more like it's given me like a North Star, of kind of like, or like permission to be like, okay, I wrote about this the whole time, but it was always like this other thing, but now it's like I have guys in this band that like all feel the same way. We all care about what we're doing, and we all want to make a difference and talk about our experiences in this format. So now it's kind of giving me permission to like really dive in and like really hone in on my craft as a songwriter, and really tune into my emotions and what I'm feeling and what I want to express, and not be scared to talk about anything that I might have been scared previous to talk about.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you find that when you're talking to artists now, because clearly you're raising awareness for, I mean, not just musicians, but I mean, people in general, of course. But I think that there's kind of a focus on people in the arts, that they're more willing to open up to you about their own stories because you have that, you kind of open the door in that regard, right? And how have those conversations changed over the course of time, with the advent of, really heavy-handed social media expectations on artists and AI and all of these sort of inherent pressures? Is this something that you find yourself, you're getting into more deeper conversations with artists who kind of approach you because you've got this sort of foundation established?
That's such a heartwarming. I'm so glad you asked that, because yes, big time. I feel like because we're so outspoken and because we wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we're not putting on, like, this is just who we are. You know what I mean? Like, we're not putting this on. Like, we're being our genuine selves, which seems like a rarity these days.
Indeed.
But I think, just us being ourselves and us singing and talking about what we believe in opens the door for so many conversations to happen, because hopefully people can see that and resonate with it. Like, I can't tell you how many times we played a show and, like, I've said a message on stage, or a song has touched somebody in a way, one of our songs about losing someone or whatever it may be. And I've had either another bandmate from a different band that we play with on the same bill, or someone in the audience, or even I've had a sound tech come up and talk to me once, like, and that conversation just flows. It's kind of like, it kind of gives them permission, going back to what I said earlier about me giving permission.
Yeah.
It kind of gives them permission to be like, oh, like, they're okay to talk about this.
That's
we actually sorry, Kevin. We actually, like, welcome these conversations. Like, that's the whole point of why we do this.
Yeah.
Is to make it more accessible to people and to make it more okay to talk about, because the more we talk about it, the less taboo, stigmatized, the less alone we'll all feel, right? The more connected we'll be. So yeah, absolutely, man. Like, to circle back to what you asked, like, it's been wonderful to, like, have these conversations, and, like, I will never not have this conversation with anybody. Like, I love talking about it, and trying to help people with whatever I can, obviously to the best of my ability. But yeah, no, it has definitely opened up a lot, to not only our fans and our friends and audiences or whatever, but to other bands we play with, and the whole community in itself. So it's been wonderful.
That's so great, Taylor, and thanks for sharing that. And it makes me think about, I mean, a lot of artists do speak diary entries about, their songwriting sort of rooted in experiences that they have, but not everyone is comfortable with coming right out and addressing it as, I really struggled with this, and this became a song as a result of my struggle. I find sometimes, myself included, try to obscure things in the lyrics so that it's not so clear that I've gone through a trial, and that's something that I'm still dealing with. And, and I think that what you're talking about is, there's no way that that gets replaced with something artificial. No. I mean, I've got AI on the brain, of course, but, like, we're heading into this realm where original music, original artists, people that perform, are in this very unique position to, I think the pendulum will ultimately swing the other way once people realize that by supplanting the human aspect, you're missing a major component of what makes music what it is. And I think because of your mission, it's really putting a fine point on, look, this is why music resonates with people, because it's attached to emotional exchange, right? It's not just words on a page. It's not just notes in a sequence. It's far more important than that. So
it's lived experience, right?
Absolutely.
There's no form of robot or algorithm or AI, whatever the fuck. Sorry, can I swear this?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
There's no sort of anything that will ever come close to lived experience,
right?
As a human being on this planet.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like art is such a good platform and a conveyor of that, you know, and like nothing will ever come close to replicating that human emotion and that connection that we all feel and have listening to music or being at a show. You know what I mean? Like you can't replace that.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So, okay, let's get into a little bit of the actual music. I mean, you
Sure.
released Second Guessing October 10th, I believe,
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
recently. And so tell us about the release of the single. Was that is this part of a larger collaboration album, EP? What's the story there?
Yeah, thanks for asking, Kev. Can I call you Kev?
You can.
Amazing, thank you. Yeah, thank you for asking. So Second Guessing is the first single off of our upcoming album that comes out next year.
Nice.
And we've been plugging away all summer long on this thing because we haven't really put out a body of work in, I guess we're going on over a year and a half now. You
Well,
know,
you've been
for
touring.
yeah, we've been busy doing other things, but we've also gone through a lot of member changes too. So that's kind of been a red herring, I guess, or whatever the term is. But it's kind of put a pause on creativity for now.
Mm-hmm.
But now we've got a full unit again. And we're like realigned and reinvigorated and trying new sonic landscapes, like musically, because you know, obviously thematically, it's still very much us. Like it's still very much we're always going to be mental health first and foremost. But sonically, like we're kind of all over the place, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think when people come to our shows, like the first comment I always get, and I'm always like flattered and grateful, is that like, man, you guys just sound like you. Like it's hard to I've heard people say it's hard to pinpoint us, and like, are we indie rock? Are we alt rock? Are we this? Are we that? You know, and like I love that. But anyways, yeah. So Second Guessing was one of the first songs we finished during the recording process over the summer, and it just felt right to us to put it out because it can kind of encapsulates what we're trying to push forward, kind of like this uplifting kind of tone to the music, but still rooted in like the raw emotion,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it, I said this quote in another article, I think, as just kind of like a silly passing thing, but I'm kind of doubling down on it now. It's like crying on the dance floor. It's kind of the mood of what we're gonna move into sonically. It's kind of like I want people to listen and be like able to jam and rock out and stuff. But then if you listen closely to the lyrics, you go, "Oh God, this is depressing as fuck."
Well,
You know,
we
so
want them to be introspective. Don't necessarily want them to stop dancing, but
exactly. We want to keep the emotion. I mean, because like to be honest with you, Kevin, like we always want to keep a silver lining in our songs. I never wanted to be an artist that was like, it's all bad all the time. You know, like there are bad moments for sure, but we get through them.
yeah.
You know, so I don't want anyone to take it out of context. Like Wishwell, our name is literally Wishwell. Like we're wishing you well.
Mm-hmm.
Like or throw a penny in a wish well or like a wishing well. Like it's like we're always gonna have a silver lining in our songs. So Second Guessing is about like being down on yourself and like not having the confidence that you think you should have, and you're always second guessing yourself,
Yeah.
right? And so, but the silver lining in the song is that like, no, you are exactly who you need to be, and like you know what you want, you know what you deserve, go get it. So
Nice.
like that's kind of the theme of the song, right? And we don't really have anything like that in our catalog yet. I don't think, anyways. Like we've always had silver linings, but this song is kind of like an fu to anybody that tells you otherwise, you know. And it's kind of like, no, go get it, man. You deserve this.
Nice.
And I think the song really reflects that in its sonic capacity and in the lyrics as well. It's a short little banger. It's like 2:10, I think.
2:10. I was gonna ask about that because like was that a conscious choice, or was it just okay, we've said what we need to say and that's it?
It's interesting how that song came together because like we had that main riff that's kind of like the whole
That's the hook.
song. Essentially, it's the hook of the song, right? So it's like we had that and we wanted to build on a bit more for the chorus, and the chorus really opens up and like feels a lot different than that riff, which was cool. And we went back and forth on like, does it need a bridge? Does it need another verse? Or you know what I mean? And it just nothing felt like it needed to go there. I felt like we said what we need to say in the song. It's like, yeah, okay, you feel down on yourself, but you're gonna get it.
Nice.
And it was kind of like, all right, that's the message. I don't think it needs any more.
I think that's cool that you were able to be honest with yourselves about the statement as a standalone piece of work, and not try to force something into it. But I wanted to ask the question because in a lot of cases we're running into producers talking about the format being truncated a lot more.
Yeah.
And 3 minutes is really not a long time for a radio edit as it is. And now things are being pushed more towards like the 2 minute mark, which I just, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, I guess, inherently, but I wouldn't want to lose the importance of making a fuller statement if if it requires it. So that you answered my question. I was wondering if that was a conscious decision or if it was something where you were getting a little bit of sort of nudging from a producer or something saying, yeah, shorten this up.
Yeah, I not to be like snob or anything here, but like we will never listen to any of that. We're gonna do what feels right to us. And if the song is what we want it to be and it's 2:10, cool. If it's 5 minutes, cool. Like we're never, I don't know, like, and maybe it's gonna take us longer to become career musicians because of these decisions. I don't know. But I think all of us, I think I can speak for all of us in the band when we say like we're gonna make what we want to make. That makes us feel good and that makes the message come across clear, regardless of the time.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care with it. Like on this record that's coming out next year, we've got songs that are like 4.5, 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Like it's all over the place, and it's, I don't know. We're happy with it. So
no, that makes a lot of sense too. I think ultimately a great producer, she or he would be down with your decision to say, no, the material is, I mean, this is what it's trying to achieve, and being comfortable with that and not being necessarily swayed one way or another. A good producer will be able to jive with that and work with you to accentuate what you're trying to communicate rather than saying it needs to fit within this format or that format.
100%. I'll give a shout out to our two producers that worked on this record, or this new album that we have coming out. Caleb Hyde, he's based out of Eardrum Valley.
Okay.
Here in Etobicoke, and then our great buddy Nolan Peak. He has a studio in Toronto that we've worked with. So it was done at two different studios and like two different producers. So it was a whole thing. But we're so stoked that we get to work with both of them in two different places, and they were just like so on board from the get-go. They were like, we get the message, we love it, tunes sound great. What can we do to help lift them?
Beautiful.
And so it's been a great experience.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. So a little bit, I mean, you started to talk about the tour, the mental health charity tour. It's still actually going on because I think it started in Ottawa.
Yeah. Okay. So we're only halfway through. We have 4 more shows to go on this tour.
Nice.
So yeah, we did Ottawa, Montreal, and then we just did Windsor and Guelph. And then this weekend coming up, I don't know when this airs, but November 15th, we're doing London. November 22nd, we're doing Hamilton. November 28th, we'll be in Kitchener. And November 29th will be our big One Beat mental health charity show.
Right. And that's in Toronto, right? At the Ivy?
In Toronto at the Ivy, yeah.
Excellent. So in that regard, I mean, you're doing touring, you're recording. What does success look like for you? Knowing that you've got this additional layer of extremely important messaging. What is consensus in the band for, okay, when we say we're successful, what does that mean?
That's such an interesting question, Kevin. Because I think it depends on who you ask in the band. But I can give you a general sense of where we're all kind of at. And I think for us, success is when we can wake up and not have to go to a day job.
Okay, fair enough.
That's success for us, dude. Like we all just want to do this every day, all the time, regardless of capacity. That looks like I don't care. Like If we play stadiums, great. If we play the same club again and again and again, amazing. Like I really don't care what it looks like as long as it pays the bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is success for us. Like if I can wake up tomorrow and not go serve, amazing. I've made it.
Right.
So, and I think I can speak for all of us in the band where that's kind of the goal for all of us is like, for us as our career, like obviously we need to pay the bills and we live in society. I would say like, yeah, the day that we can wake up and we don't have to go to our day jobs and like this pays the bills, that's success for us.
Mhm.
And then another layer of that is like, I want to see the impact that we make on people's lives. Like as a side note, like not personally. Well, I mean, it is personal, but like not like, financially, whatever. Success to me is like with all the initiatives we take, with the music we make, with the partnership with Heart Sport that we have, which is the nonprofit that I work with. And for One Beat, our like mini festival that we do every year, which is the end of this tour. It's a festival that I started with Heart Support, where we raise money for Heart Support or whatever given charity, and it's more than just a show. Like it's a community building event. And so this time around, this year, we partnered with an agency called Rebellios, which is a Canadian-based agency where they teach in leadership roles in the industry how to deal properly with people that are struggling with mental health. So like their agency deals with like training people from the inside, from the top, and then it's a trickle effect down of like teaching the leaders of these corporations how to manage a world that we live in with mental health, so that they could teach their staff, teach their staff, teach their staff. And so that's their kind of thing. And so I thought that was so profound and I love what they're doing. And so we partner with them and Heart Support. So we have two major agencies that we've partnered up with for this show. And so it's stuff like that, right? It's stuff like I will feel successful when we've made an impact on either this industry or the people that are around this industry, or on a grander scale, general people anywhere.
Yeah.
That we've impacted their lives in a positive way and made them feel like they're safe, make them feel included, make them feel like they're less alone in this world about what they're dealing with. That's ultimately all I really care about.
I love that. That's a great response, Taylor. Thank you for that.
Of course.
And well, just knowing a little bit about what the Indie Distributor, and I'm sure you've heard of the Gustapalooza Music Festival.
We played there twice.
There you go. Like you know it well.
Yeah, we're really good friends with Val and Russ.
Oh, they're amazing. So part of this too is imparting knowledge on up and coming indie artists that now having been together for a few years and gone through a couple of lineup changes and then been on tour and then collaborating with your own shows and that sort of thing. What advice do you have for indie bands, artists, solo artists, or otherwise just getting started?
Oof. I have two answers. I have a genuine answer and I have a funny answer. What do you want first?
Let's go with the genuine one first.
Okay. So the genuine answer is find who and what you want to be as an artist before anything. That's my takeaway, because like I've been doing this since I was like 13 years old. I've been in 7 bands. I've been a solo artist for years, and now I've been in Wishwell for 5. And all of that experience of me being, I'm 32 now, and all of that experience of being like, I think you just need to be authentically who you need to be, and people will gravitate towards that. And make sure the music's good, because that's important. Like really practice your songwriting, really practice your craft, really dial in on like what you guys want to sound like, what you guys want to express, what your message is as a band or an artist or whatever it may be, and really just run with it. And I got a piece of advice from, I went to Seneca College for music, and one of my professors was, and this is like an extreme viewpoint, but like I stand by it. There is no plan B. The moment you have a plan B as an independent artist, like if you really want this to be your career as an independent artist or as a band or whatever it may be, the moment you come up with a plan B, you've already failed. I know it's extreme to say, but it's so true, because you're banking on the fact that it'll fail because you've come up with a plan B. So you're never going to try as hard to make plan A work. So for me, like getting into this industry and then learning that line that my professor told me, I was like, okay. And people always ask me all the time. They're always like, Taylor, like, what happens if you guys don't make it? I'm like, I don't know. This is all I want to do. This is plan A and the only plan A.
If you are the arbiter of what success is, then no one can necessarily tell you that you've made it or you haven't made it.
Exactly. But whatever make it is up to you.
Right.
Like I could say I've made it right now. I've been in a band for like 5 years and we've played over 100 shows probably. And we've raised thousands of dollars for charity that I believe in. And we've touched people in ways that I never thought I could. Like that in and of itself is making it.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So that would be my advice for people. It's just like, be true to yourself, put your time in the art, and don't have a plan B.
That's cool. I haven't heard that before. That's really intriguing. Oh, you said you had a funny answer?
Now I'm going to merit everything I just said. My funny answer is don't.
Don't get started.
Just don't do it.
Turn and run.
Yeah. I don't actually mean that, but it's funny though.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome. All right. Well, Taylor, thank you so much for spending some time and answering some questions, and really can't wait to see Wishwell continue to blow up. I hope you have an amazing show at the Ivy. We're going to try to make it, but that weekend we've got some other stuff going on. But yeah, we love what you guys are doing. Want to support in any way that we can. And yeah, just really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Kevin, I can't tell you how grateful we are to have the platform to speak about things. Like as indie band, it's always hard to get our stuff out there and have people actually like listen to us. So thank you for giving us the time and space to do this. We don't take it for granted, and I hope you know that. We are so very grateful for people that give us the time of day. So thank you so much for allowing us to come on and talk about this. We really appreciate it. You've been a great host. And I just want to add, yeah, like the One Beat concert, if you guys watching or listening to this episode, it is a charity event that Wishwell has started. It's our second annual year of doing it. It is on Saturday, November 29th at the Ivy, 901 Yonge Street. Doors are at 8 p.m. Come on out. $5 from every ticket sold will go towards Heart Support, which is the nonprofit that we work with. They give free mental health services to people that need via peer support. And we're trying to raise $1,000 because their goal is $1,000 provides one person with a full year of mental health support.
Wow.
And so our goal for the show is to get $1,000 raised so that we can pay for someone's entire year of mental health support.
That's extremely cool. I love that. So thank you for sharing that. And we're going to rush to get this to production before the 29th. So
yeah.
Taylor, thank you again so much. It's been great.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really, really appreciate it.